Every year I make New Year resolutions, and every year I forget them almost instantly. And if not, then I definitely forget them within a month. And yet, at the end of every year, I always find myself in the state of wondering how I've actually grown this year and wanting to think about how I can truly make the most of the new year to come. It's this time of year that forces us to pause and reset, and I think that's important. But what's important is that we learn to reflect, reset, and set new goals that are realistic to help us move forward instead of stressing us out and being almost pointless. Hello and welcome back, guys. I cannot believe that it's going to be 2024. I feel like 2023 has gone by so quickly and I've just been so disorganized towards the end of the year. So I thought it'd be really nice for me and also to take you guys along, start prepping for the new coming year and what that would look like. I really want to reflect on everything that's happened this year and how I went with the goals that I set at the start of this year, things that I feel like I haven't had a chance to pause and reflect on what I've learned, and then use that to start thinking about things that I want to do next year. I really want to change the way I set them this year. Let's go make a coffee, grab your journals, grab your new diary planners, grab your broomsticks and your vacuums, and then let's start cleaning, let's start reflecting, and then let's start planning together. Come along with me. The first thing on my reset checklist is to do a big, deep clean of my space. To have a fresh start, we need a clean headspace, and a clean physical space is key to a clean headspace. So the goal for today is I'm just gonna put away all the things that just don't belong in my room away. I also really need to fold these clothes and put them back into my wardrobe, and then what I might do is just put away all of this stuff and clean all the surfaces, so my tables, and then I will start my bathroom hopefully, and if not I'll finish that tomorrow. But then after I do this I'll also just vacuum the floors, and then tomorrow I think I want to start filtering through my closet because there's just a lot of like things that I just have just piled up that I don't even use anymore. So I want to throw away things I don't want and don't need. This might also be something I can't do in 2 days. I'm not sure yet. If not, it will be a process that we will do over the new year during my holiday. That is pretty much the plan for this deep clean before the new year starts. Okay guys, so I've got my old 2023 diary and then I've got my 2024 diary. They're both from Kikki K. I've also got my coffee ready, and then I've also got a few highlighters and pens. So what I'm going to start off with, now that the room is clean, I'm going to journal and reflect on this year and what has happened this year. So I'm gonna go look back at the goals that I set for 2023 at the start. One thing that I've been doing this year, I've been just like writing down any achievement I've done that day. I wrote it down on in my calendar. So then when I looked back, I could be like, oh, this was the day that I did XYZ. We'll start reflecting. It's so necessary for us to pause and to take the time to look back at everything that has happened. It makes us remember things we can be proud of, because I know I often forget about these things. It also allows us to be thankful for things that have happened and to see what we worked on and what we can now work on moving forward. Using my journal, I reviewed the goals I achieved or made progress in this year, and then I took some time to write out some reflections and then split my reflecting into different sections to look back at.
So the way I'm going to do my reflection, the first one, I want to think about all the milestones, any achievements and accomplishments, whether big or small. Then I want to think about the things that I've learned and how I've grown this year, and then things that I want to keep working on, which will translate into my goals for next year. Over the page, this is very linked to my own faith as a Christian. If this applies to you, go ahead, and if it doesn't, that's okay as well. But I think it's really good to be very thankful and to kind of keep a gratitude journal as well. So for me, I've written down sections for things that I can see God has answered my prayers over the year. And not even just this year, but even in previous years before. But then also things that I'm super thankful for to God, and then things that I do want to ask for the new year. Okay guys, so I just spent some time reflecting on this year and following just little sections that I set out earlier. There's been a lot that has happened this year. I kind of forgot about a lot of things, so I found reflecting on it super helpful. Otherwise I feel like I just end up thinking that I haven't done much, and I keep thinking that I need more and I want more, and I just need to slow down and take in all that has happened. Just some things I did want to share, like I got a dog this year, I went on a few girls trips, I started supervising at my workplaces, I got some other jobs that I never thought I would have. I did a lot more self-care, and I just feel like this year I've grown a lot more in my confidence as a person. I've also just invested so much more time in my friendships and my family time, and also time by myself, and I've really felt like that's been something I've been praying for. Got to look back at things that I know and have seen God answer. Like I was reading my prayer journals and I was like, wow, months later, this was like earlier this year, and God has just answered those prayers, or is answering them, and it's just such a testament to his faithfulness. He is an answered prayer. I'm also super thankful for his grace to me, because I honestly know that I do not deserve any of his grace, and I've really struggled with just realizing how sinful I am this year. But I'm also very thankful for his sovereignty and his goodness, and knowing that he is good in his ways and his plans, even if I don't understand it, or even if I feel like they're not the same as what I want.
Now it's time to open up our new 2024 journals. Take this time to really set up your journal space for the new year. Fill it up with your own designs, start filling in special days, familiarize yourself with your planning space. As we set 2024 goals, we want to be realistic and we want to be clear. So, here are my biggest tips and what I decided to do this time.
I want to keep it simple this year. I put an overarching / intention of the year. So this year I really want to, well next year I guess, I really want to work on slowing down by setting good routine, by journaling and praying more, so then I can just slow down and reflect more regularly. And I also really want to think about being more intentional about the things and places that I have been placed in. Then I moved on to prayers, or things that I really want to, overarching things I want to ask God to help me, what I really want to work on this coming year. And then lastly, I've got a few milestones that also might change, and that's why it's good to keep them broad, and that goes for all of your goals that you set. I've learned that this year, honestly, I used to set goals like for financial goals, for different parts of my life, and that's great, and I think you can totally do that. I did that last year, but I feel like I got to a point where this year I just wanted to keep it really simple. So I do have some financial goals, I do have some goals for my faith, etc., and things like that, but I do think try to keep my goals to a minimum of about 5, because the things that we want and the things that we feel convicted about achieving and doing changes over the year. So I think it's so much better to kind of just set the intentions for the first part of the year and then add more as you go. We all know that we often get to a point where we set a goal and then we don't achieve it, and then we feel like we didn't achieve it at all, whereas actually you did work on that goal, you did grow in that goal. You just maybe didn't achieve that number that you set, but maybe it wasn't realistic. So instead of setting a number, set an overall intention for that section of or that goal, and then set a more tangible way of being able to achieve that. So for example, for my YouTube, I want to grow my channel. Instead of being like, I want to grow my channel to X amount of subscribers, instead I want to grow my channel by posting more vlogs or posting regularly, once a week, twice a week. So that's kind of an overall for the year. But then let's start planning for January. So I'm just going to pretty much do the same things, but I put in a section for the achievements that I'm going to fill up as I finish the month, and then I also want to write down an intention for the month, things that I really want to think about, and maybe any like goals that I know I want to do in January.
I'm feeling pretty good this time. I can see the leaves are smiling red and June gold. The wind starts moving in. It's like I'm living in the stories of old. I can hear the poets calling out in the forest, they're wishing me well. Those bards of bygone times are guiding me on one road. I'm traveling.
Thank you so much for planning with me for 2024. I just wanted to say before we finish off, and I'll see you in the next year, that 2024 is really what you make of it. So don't put so much pressure on trying to get things right now. Also, don't feel like you need to wait till 2024 to start. And if you feel like you're gonna miss out if you don't do something right at the start, keep going. Don't feel like you need to wait a whole nother year. Things change and we change, and that's the beauty of it. And I think we should think of planning and resetting for the year as a chance to just refresh and to look at growth and just keep having a growth mindset, and that we should have throughout the whole year, regardless of where we are and what we are doing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this planning with me video. I'm excited to just keep growing and bringing you guys along the journey of navigating life together. Love you all, and Happy New Year!
Give me strength.